Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, the shelves are up, my running shoes are all out and organised, and I thought I'd finally get around to doing this video, which is about my running shoe rotation, what shoes I run in day to day, which shoes I race in, but also going back over the last 25 years of running and what shoes I started out in, my journey through running shoes, and yeah, finishing up with where I am now. So when I started year 2000, I went to the local running shop, which is no longer there now, and I picked out my first pair of running shoes, which were these Brooks Adrenaline stability shoes. They were solid, they were dependable, they had a lot of structure to them, and they got me through my first couple of years of running. Now after those I switched up to Saucony, so I went for Saucony Pro Grid guides, which are a little bit lighter, a little bit more responsive, but still had a lot of structure in them and the stability that I needed as a new runner. Now going on from there, I got into Mizuno, so I was wearing Mizuno Wave Nexus, I think, Wave Inspire as well, and for races I was in some super lightweight flat racing shoes, Hitagami and Mizuno Musha. I love Mizuno Mushas. They were really lightweight, not much support. Things like 5Ks, 10Ks, they were really good. I remember using one pair of Mizuno Mushas in Rimini in the European European Middle Distance Championships in 2015. It was a very cold bike. When I came in, I couldn't feel my feet off the bike, and I didn't bother putting socks on because my feet were just too numb. I put my Mizuno Mushas on and just started running, and within about 2 miles my feet were in absolute tatters. I tore my feet to shreds. I think the blisters took about 2 months to heal. If you're a bit squeamish, look away now. But yeah, that was my last time I ran a triathlon with no socks on. Now also around about that time I had elastic laces in all of my running shoes. I was doing a lot of triathlon training, so there's often a run off the bike and I just put elastic laces in everything. These days I don't bother with that as much. I just think 20 seconds to tie your laces is no big deal. I'll just tie my laces and go that way. But yeah, elastic laces was always the way to go back in my early triathlon days in about 2008, 2009. For cross-country races I used Brooks. They were awful. I really didn't get on with them at all. They just, from the first run I did in sort of muddy conditions, they just turned to just absolute solid, uncushioned, unsupportive, almost like clogs. They were horrible things. Now I was getting through a lot of injuries back in those days. So 2008, 2009, the reason I was getting into more triathlon was because I was getting a lot of running injuries, and I was switching between brands of stability shoes. And around about that time Hoka came onto the scene, and I saw them in the running shop. They looked ridiculous. The early Vanquishes and Cliftons, but also the Carvu and the Elevon, I think. The very first time they appeared in this country, they had incredible cushioning. They were fantastic shoes, and I just tried all of the Hokas in all of the wacky colours and absolutely loved them. And I've basically been doing a majority of my miles in Hokas ever since. So I started out with Clifton, what would have been the Clifton 1s, and I've gone all the way through, and I'm still running Cliftons these days, but I've absolutely loved Hokas ever since they first came here. So these days my go-to shoe is the Hoka Clifton. I think this is the Clifton 9. I've probably had about 5 pairs of these I think. These ones I actually got from Vinted, 50 quid. When you get through so many shoes, now that they're hitting like 150, 160, 170 pounds a pair just for regular mileage shoes, Vinted is a great place I go to find these. So these were 50 quid, they've probably done about 2 5Ks I think. Someone's bought them, not even worn them in. They're in incredibly good condition. And for a general mileage shoe, super supportive. I absolutely love Hoka Cliftons. But the other shoe I'm wearing a lot is whatever these were. Hoka Mach Ironman. Again, super shoe. I've had 2 or 3 pairs of these. These ones are absolutely on their last legs. They've probably done 600 miles or so. But again, this is a shoe that I would rotate between this and the Clifton, and also these ones I've got on here. These have actually become gardening shoes. What are these? And these are another pair of my Clifton 9s. So these are worn for about 500 miles or so. They're completely worn out on the side, absolutely ruined. But I still do occasionally, if they're by the door, if the other shoes are wet, I'll stick these on and use them for an hour's easy run. Again, Clifton's just amazing shoes. I've absolutely loved these all the way through. Now I have also recently picked up a pair of Hoka Carbon X's. These ones again were a Vinted bargain. These were 50 quid as well actually. It's amazing what you can get for 50 quid on Vinted. But these again, they've hardly been worn. When I got them they had probably done 5 miles or so. They'd put 1 or 2 wears. And now these, again, they're a rotation shoe. So these, the Cliftons, the Machs, these are ones I'll just rotate. Obviously these are better for efforts rather than just a general mileage shoe, so I'll use these for efforts that I'm doing at the moment in my half marathon and marathon build-up. So on to my race days, and I initially started out with the first pair of Vaporflies. These ones I never massively got on with. I joined the carbon plate trend. I saw it as an opportunity to get a few seconds quicker here or there, but I got these Vaporflies. I really struggled with these. The little tab inside the heel gave me blisters the first time I wore them, this padding strip you get inside there. And also the super narrow form on the foot just gave me blisters on the sides of my feet, on my arches. But that was the first foray into carbon plates. And I've carried on. I do use carbon plates for a lot of races. So I've got Alphaflies here. I just love the colour schemes. These again are ruined. These have been a training shoe for quite a few months now. So I'll use these again for fast efforts. But the colours of these are great. And then I've had recently, the current race shoe is the Alphafly version 3 next percent. These completely change it. From the narrowness of the early Alphaflies, these are incredible. They're so much wider through the foot, the toe box has so much more space. These feel superb, and I wore these for, I think, Tokyo Marathon and Dubai Half Marathon. So these have just had 2 races in them. And I'll use these for another couple of races. It's a fantastic shoe, absolutely love them, and it's so different to the Hoka carbons. I wish Hoka could get something like this. I haven't tried the full Hoka carbon shoe yet, but these for races are what I like to use. Again, I think this is the version 2. A couple of races I've put into these, great shoe, and I will use them again. But with these Alphaflies, I will quite often just chop and change between them, depending on the weather, depending on the race. If it's going to be a wet day, I'll use some of these ones. They've not had many races in them. A nice dry sunny day, out will come the version 3 next percent. So I love the Nike Alphafly and Vaporflies. Now through the winter we obviously get into a bit of cross-country racing. We take part our club in the Suffolk Winter League. And again, Hoka's incredible trail shoes. So I've got the, what are these, the Torrents, which has got a fair amount of grip on. Fantastic trail shoe, and the Hoka Speed Goats. So these ones have got the real lugs on the bottom. They're great shoe for really muddy conditions. And again, you get all the support and the cushioning of regular Hokas. If I can, I'll always use road shoes for winter road running. I don't like using trail shoes on the road, although sometimes the conditions around here do need it. But for cross country, for trails, Speed Goats and the Torrents, fantastic shoes. Now I did try getting some Nike Street Flies for regular training miles. I went through them too quickly, the soles just fell apart. I had one pair of Street Flies, destroyed them and went back to Hoka's again. So as I'm carrying on using Cliftons and Machs for my training miles, but I couldn't resist picking up this pair when they came out. Absolutely love this colour scheme. I bought them brand new, I haven't even worn them yet. Call me a bit of a shoe tart, but I brought these purely because I absolutely love the look of them. So these are completely unworn. One day I might have to, I hope not. But then also these. So I also brought this pair because they look amazing. I plan to run a fast 5k or a 10k in my training this year. My hip injury sort of put paid to all that, but if ever I get the chance to do a really fast 5k, fast for me of course, I will absolutely break these out. But again, I brought them because they came down in price in a sale and I just couldn't resist getting them, shoving them on the shelf. So I've got a few pairs backed up if ever there's a shoe shortage. So with the Hoka Carbons and the Hoka Cliftons as my general rotation training shoe, and also the Machs, although they are really on their last legs. They're my general mileage rotation shoes. The Carbons for efforts, the Cliftons for just long marathon and half marathon training runs. I've got the 2 pairs of box fresh Nikes that are just too good to wear. I will do at some point, but they're too good to wear at the moment. And then I've got the Alphaflies and Vaporflies, which I use for races and the occasional training session if I'm feeling like I need that extra speed. And then down the bottom, the Hoka Challengers and Speed Goats. So that is my journey through running shoes, right from my first Brooks Adrenaline all the way through to the carbon plated Alpha Flies and Vapor Flies, but a lot of time spent in Cliftons and Mach Hokas, and Hoka carbon rockets and all sorts. I absolutely love Hokas to bits. They're for general mileage shoe. They're so well cushioned, and I think my feet are toughened up and they can take any Hokas now. I think over the years you build that muscle in your shoe, you build that strength, and I don't need the stability I used to need, and I just rotate Hokas, grabbing some bargains off Vinted along the way. But yeah, that's my Hoka journey, that's my running shoe journey. Let me know what you like to wear when you run, what shoes you favour for races, for training, that sort of thing. But I hope you enjoyed this quick video, my running journey in terms of shoes, what I started out in, what I wear now, what I rotate. Anyway, just a quick roundup. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.